The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. This is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico and Haan.
It is 67 degrees, kind of foggy, and
But still beautiful.
yeah, we're happy. We're happy. We live in a nice place.
That's right.
Please make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. You get that in your inbox twice a month, $10 a month, news you can use. We've got an article here about the secrets behind one of the happiest countries in the world. Make sure you can find out kind of in the area where Nico's from.
Yeah,
That part of the world. Yeah, pretty close.
And pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic cell-ready ingredients, all powered by the humic and fulvic acid to get the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out. And if you are up and at it, give us a call. It's 877-927-6648. We're taking your questions, comments, opportunities, etc.
Yeah, let's get started. What are we talking about today?
Well, you know, I was thinking a lot today as I was putting together the show about immunity. You know, we've heard so much about the flu shots, the flu outbreak, and we do know that naturally much of the flu outbreak that we're seeing is a result of the vaccinations. The vaccines shed the disease, and it's just unfortunate if, you know, the immune system is suppressed. But came across this article. You know, sometimes we got to go back to old knowledge, and I found this article in the Telegraph. Return to old habits as babies encouraged to sleep outside in the fresh air. And you'll see lots of pictures of mothers swaddling their child, but putting them out in the sunshine. Even pictures. I like that picture, Nico. Maybe you can make sure people see it. Look at that baby sitting there on the sheepskin, sleeping outside of the Paddock Cottage Nursery. I guess that's someplace in Europe. But mindful parents of the health benefits of fresh air, as it was once a common practice for parents and grandparents to wrap their babies up in a blanket and put them in their prams to sleep.
Yeah, but over the last few years, of course, growing fears of crime put the old-fashioned practice kind of out of the realm. People are scared these days.
Baby snatchers.
Baby snatchers. It may be that...
Maybe these parents need to take a break while their baby's snoozing, put their feet barefoot in the ground, do a little discharge.
Well, it could be,
But
too,
we're all
that,
too busy.
you know, we live in an area where that's maybe the baby outside isn't such a good idea, like a big city or something like that.
It always bothers me when people say, oh, be careful, you're going to catch a cold.
Mm-hmm.
And the temperature does not cause a cold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the terrain. It's what's going on in the body.
I would be catching a cold every day, practically, because I've been dunking myself in
we're doing the
water.
cold plunge, you know,
So,
we're doing that cold thermogenesis, and actually it's the complete opposite. That encourages the immune system and increases our body's ability to clean out the stuff, you know. But, you know, however, it appears that this practice is undergoing a revival. I think that's great. I love when old is new again.
And it seems like Europe is usually the one in the beginning to start some of these things, or maybe they've retained it. A lot of these countries like Denmark, like we talked about earlier,
with a picture of the children in Russia taking their clothes off to go roll in the snow during their own little CT.
Yeah, so these northern European countries have been doing this for a long time, and they really do know that the cold doesn't make you sick. It's how your body reacts to it.
It says several of these have been inspired by the ForestSchools, the movement in Scandinavian countries, where the practice of children sleeping outdoors is still common. Boy, to put your children in a forest school, I really love a lot of this this revival of things that just make so much sense. There's a woman, Hannah Rosalie, an experienced childminder. I like that word.
Yeah.
Adopted it for her own children, and now she uses it with those that she looks after. She says she started doing it herself when her baby was only 6 weeks old. She just instinctively felt like it was a good thing to do. And she said it was a ForestSchool that inspired her.
Yeah, the Danish ForestSchool method, they call it. And she thinks you've got the right to do it the right way for child care. I think they're doing it right in the way they do child care. It's very outdoors, very healthy, and it's very real.
Well, so, you know, that's really a cool thing, kind of getting away from the plastic toys, but getting out into the big, great outdoors. And although those are in Scandinavian countries, those of us that live in Florida, using that morning sunlight, what I work with my clients on is the importance of being like the Sphinx in the morning. As Jack Cruz says, get down on all hands and feet and look east.
And we naturally think Florida, well, nice weather and everything like that, but probably nothing wrong with putting a baby outside, even in cool, colder weather, as long as they're bundled up like that little baby.
I get it. It's the whole idea of being outdoors in that fresh air.
Yeah.
And it builds, you know, we really need to build confidence for babies in the outdoors and for adults alike. And I'll go to say it's about building this confidence, because women have just kind of lost their confidence in nature. You know, we've gotten where we think, and this was a lot of the mind control programming, you know, that formula was better than breast milk, and and you need to have a baby monitor, putting EMFs in the baby's room to watch your baby instead of just being a mindful mom. I mean, you see that?
Well, it is a backward world in a sense, and it's this fear thing. It's, you know, first of all, the thing that changes us is these products. Like you said, now we're feeding bottles instead of the breast milk. It's easier. We're putting the baby in another room instead of being with us. Then we need this electronic device so you can monitor the baby. It is completely backwards. But
it's upside down.
It's a basis for our economy. We have to sell things in a capitalistic system. In this type of system, we need products to move. When products stop moving, the whole society breaks down. So this...
Yeah, I think it's so much more than the capitalistic. There's good things about capitalism. I think it's the idea of breaking down the common sense of the human being. It's about disrupting the family unit. It's about...
Well, remember, we're doing this as advertising for products, though. So we're changing the way we do things.
What's the end result of it all?
Well, the end result is the bad result we see now. Modern living is not a healthy thing.
That's why we're into primal living. That's
right.
The name of this show.
Of course.
Hey, so let's talk about this ForestSchools thing. I really like this. You know, it's been a staple of education in countries such as Denmark and Sweden since the 1950s. That kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe the Waldorf school concept.
Yeah.
A lot more playing, eating, and sleeping outdoors as much as possible. And, you know, many of these children, child care professionals from Bridgewater College in Somerset, a place in the UK, who visited a forest preschool in Denmark in the 1990s were among the first to reintroduce the idea into the UK. So this is a spreading concept. Do we have forest schools in the United States? Maybe that's something. You know, we've got the unschool movement moving. It's kind of the same thing. But let's take the unschoolers, let's take them outdoors.
Well, I think so. And we just have to have our children healthy. And the only way to do that is really have them outdoors and kind of reverse what we've been doing in modern living.
That's right.
We'll be right back, folks.
Be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. We just shared the idea of parents getting back to getting their children out in the sunlight, in the fresh air. And that's important that we realize that we really are light. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. We are light, and we are electricity. And it's important that that light is right. In other words, that we're getting the right light at the right time. So we need some of that daylight sun exposure, but what about at night? And I found this article on a research project published in Nature.com, a well-respected publication. Does artificial light at night exposure contribute to the worldwide obesity pandemic? Why, yes, Virginia, it does.
Well, it says here the background of the abstract says worldwide overweight and obesity rates are on the rise, with about 1,900 billion adults being defined as overweight and about 600 million being defined as obese by the World Health Association. Increasing exposure to artificial light at night may influence body mass by suppression of melatonin production and disruption of the daily rhythms, resulting in the physiological or behavioral changes in the human body, and thus may become a driving force behind the worldwide epidemic of being overweight.
So
and
once
obese.
you study with Jack, you never go back. And that's my little comment. That's why I'm wearing these glasses, folks. Did you hear what Nico said? When you get exposed to Allen or artificial light at night, what happens is that interferes with your melatonin production, and if you also don't get that early morning sunlight, which is where we actually create the hormones so that we make good melatonin, you're really messing it up. The eyes are not just a camera, they are a clock, and we need to reset our physiology by observing light rules. One of the reasons why I'm now wearing these glasses, we have to get your new ones ordered. I know you wear some at night at home, but I've been concerned about the studio lights because we're here before the sun rises. And we haven't had the chance to see the morning, the blue light from the sun that's going to give us our programming. So I feel it's, you know, I don't wear these every morning. I'm wearing them because we're still in the black here. And So
when I go home and I look at my iPad or my iPhone and I'm looking for Wi-Fi, there's about 10 things that pop up.
Right.
So these are the people in my neighborhood that are also online. And so these rays are going through my house. Nothing I can do about those things. So,
Well, yeah, there is.
okay.
Through
but-
household remediation, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, that's I really want to learn about this because, this morning when I woke up, I looked at that and there was 10 of them already active.
And especially, have you seen the ones that have the dash 5G?
Yeah, there's some of those too.
You got those. You got to contact those neighbors and tell them to turn off that signal. You call.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, I did do it. No,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
sure
do
you
it.
did.
They're trying to test the 5G, but that's one thing. That's the EMFs, and we're going to get to that. But getting back to the light, this article that we saw said that, yes, light is affecting our circadian rhythm. And these people, without getting into the methods and everything, what they found was artificial light emerged as a statistically significant and positive predictor of overweight and obesity, helping to explain, together with other factors, why about 70% of the observed variation in overweight and obesity prevalence rates among females and males in more than 80 countries worldwide. Regional differences in the strength of association between the artificial light at night and excessive body masses were also noted. So it's actually the first population level study that confirmed the results of laboratory research that artificial light at night was found to be a contributing factor to excess body mass. So folks, how can you work on that? When the lights go down, so do your light fixtures. Use salt lamps. Use a fireplace. Use a fire pit. Use blue blocking glasses so that you're seeing only the infrared and the red frequencies. That's what you see. Think what was living a primal lifestyle like. They didn't have a light bulb and a switch and television and all of this. Things got quiet. Curl up with a good book with with a red light. You can actually order little votive candles that are electric that have a red light, and you
Yeah,
can
I've
use
seen
that to read a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about this. Of course, we're talking about the spectrum of light, and a lot of that light we cannot see. And the ones we cannot see are all these electronic things that are passing through our house and everything like that. So when we talk about light, we also have to think about the stuff we don't see. These are the electrical things that I was talking about in the house. So what are the things that people can do actually to remove some of this that's coming from our neighborhood?
Well, we're going to talk about that in detail. I think I mentioned to you that I just had a geobiologist at my home on Sunday.
Yes.
All right, so his name is Brian Hoyer. You can follow up with Brian at Shielded Healing. ShieldedHealing.com, Brian Hoyer. Brian is a health practitioner like myself, and he has actually traveled to Austria to study the techniques of the GeoVital organization. You can research that more at English or en.geovital.com. Brian came to my house on his way back from Joe Marcola's house.
Okay, yep.
So he has the tools, instrumentation, the training, and the techniques to evaluate your situation for magnetic stress, electronic stress, dirty electricity, radio frequencies or microwave cell tower damage, and geopathic stress. It will curl your toes. And it is important that we start to remediate our environments. I am actually thinking of taking the training myself because there are more and more health practitioners that realize the seriousness of the electromagnetic stress we have and are actually beginning to insist that their clients make these changes because they're just not going to get the results. The nutritional supplements, the food is not enough anymore. This environment that we're living in is rather stressful. So wouldn't you like to have Brian on the show?
I would love to.
Yeah. And so
That sounds like a great idea.
we'll postpone that talk about what do you do, because your question is what do we do to do that? It's multifactorial.
I'm sure it is.
There's many steps we have to take, and there's layering effects that we have to do.
Now, naturally, some of the stuff we're doing already, which is diet, of course, but also taking the cold plunges, using a sauna, infrared, those types of things, of course, are the
Absolutely. detoxing.
So we're trying to not only...
The detoxing and discharge of the bad charge, and the recharge of reconnecting with the earth, and so that we can grounding, so that we can discharge some of these bad frequencies and recharge our batteries.
Right, because this is electric universe. We talk about the electric universe with
Exactly.
the sun, but really we are electric beings. Even I found an article the other day talking about the heart, and the heart is the most electronic of all, because how do we restart the heart?
And whereas most of we've got the two electrical thing, the heart has the biggest magnetic field.
Yeah.
And then we've got the brain, and I think everybody associates the brain as an electrical organ, but you're right. I think a lot of people still don't understand that the heart is. And where is the highest concentration of our mitochondria? In the heart and the brain.
Okay.
So these cold plunges you are doing, and we're doing, these things encourage mitochondrial growth. When I was in Mexico, and I was in with some of these gals who are a little more advanced and sitting in those cold plunges, they were like, Paige, you are burning fat. You're converting white fat to brown fat. Your old, bad, damaged mitochondria are dying and new ones are being created. It was really motivating to stay in that cold. Hope you'll be motivated to stay with us, because we're telling you news you can use. Living a Primal Lifestyle. We'll be right back.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we were just talking about how there was a study that showed that our obesity and nighttime light were correlated. And I saw this article that says that when it comes to obesity, genes are just partly to blame. And you and I have been sharing with our listeners that genes do not control your destiny. In fact, they're just a blueprint, but the actual construction of you is really carried out with an analysis of your environment. You know, how you sleep, what you eat, what you drink, how you move, what you breathe. And so our environment triggers how it's actually built. Right?
Yeah, you may be predisposed because your mother was predisposed to something, but that doesn't mean you'll get it.
It doesn't mean you activate that gene.
That's right. So it's definitely in your environment and what you do on a daily basis that will determine the outcome.
Right. So if you have trouble keeping slim, don't put all the blame on your DNA. And we agree with this. And I think so many people are allowed to believe that it has something to do with their DNA. And as we just indicated, it has everything to do with your environment. Are you keeping yourself exposed to light at the wrong times? Are you telling your biological clock the wrong message at the wrong time? So, because people carrying the so-called obesity gene tend to gain more weight if they don't work out or don't get enough sleep. This is what a professor at the University of Exeter Medical School in England said. You can't change your genes, but they only explain part of your weight. Exactly, folks. This means that even people genetically inclined to pile on pounds can curb it by eating right, exercising, and I'm going to add, and by having the right chronobiology. So that's the key takeaway I wanted to make with this, that we're finding now the newest science, the newest medicine and health is very much implicating our environment and our light triggers to our health and our obesity. And so we've talked a little bit today that we are light, right?
Yeah, we're electric beings.
And we're electric, and we need to charge and discharge. So I wanted to go to an article in one of our favorite resources, greenmedinfo.com, and the article is called Biophotons. The human body emits and communicates with light. And increasingly, science agrees that the direct human experience, we are more than the atoms and molecules that make up our body. We are beings of light. And biophotons, living light, are emitted by the human body, and they can be released through mental intention and may modulate the processes within cell-to-cell communication.
Yeah, and this is kind of, sometimes I get lost in this whole thing because there's so much to it, and there's so many things reacting to us.
And yet it's almost getting back to the most simple, basic things.
Yeah, I guess that's
Isn't it
true.
funny?
That is true.
Complicated but simple.
Yeah, because if you spend a week in the woods and you sleep outdoors for a while, then all of a sudden things kind of get back into place, and then when you get back into society again, it changes back again. It really, it brings me this whole thing about domestication. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the people were talking about just the fact that we are a domesticated species, and he mentioned the word husband. We use the word husband as being a husband and wife, but husband really means domestication. Because when we talk about husbandry is domesticating animals, animal husbandry, plant husbandry. So what humans beings have tried to do for the last 10,000 years is not only change our environment, but change ourselves. We've been domesticating ourselves for about 10,000 years, more so definitely in the last 150 years.
Some people would argue, are we domesticating ourselves, or do we have handlers that are domesticating us?
Well, certainly our society is being ruled by people.
To a certain group, we are their cattle.
Yeah, in a way they are, and I think that group is the people who are selling us stuff. They want us to be always buying things, and these corporations, and it's an innocent thing at first.
But the corporations are a front for who? The real handlers.
Well, perhaps, those things.
Well, we know that is true.
Well,
I know we're going down the wrong rabbit hole, but...
Well, the thing is that it really starts with the buying and selling of things, and the promotion of these products and these lifestyles are being sold to us instead of the ancient things that our ancestors always told us, the stories that made us humans, the stories that give us compassion to each other, the stories that have all these little things in it. A lot of them are in the Bible and all these other books that we do, and we treasure these things, but we're not living by them. We're not going to the book and saying, this is really easy. We got the sunlight, we got the Garden of Eden here, which is the earth, and we can live in it. We don't have to do a lot. No, instead, we're doing a lot. And a lot of the stuff that we're doing is really bad for our health. And it's great for people who are in the top 1% because those people are controlling us. And whether it's intention or not, to me, doesn't really make that much difference because the outcome is the same. The outcome is that we're living in society and people are selling us stuff that is no good for us because they need to market it.
Yeah.
And I can do that too. I can come up with a product that may not be good for you, but if I advertise it and sell it enough, the percentages are with me that I'm going to buy it and somehow I'm going to be successful.
It's the hamster wheel. It really is.
Yes.
And really, guys, getting back to this, how about this? Nothing is more amazing than the highly improbable fact that we exist at all. We often ignore this fact, oblivious to the reality that instead of something, there could be nothing at all. Why is there a universe unconscious of itself, and not some void completely unconscious of itself? You know, this is I'm reading from the Green Med Info article. So we consider that from light, air, water, and basic minerals within the crust of the earth, and that at least 3 billion year old information contained within the nucleus of one diploid zygote cell, the human body is formed, and within that body a soul capable of at least trying to comprehend its bodily and spiritual origins.
Well, that question that you had there, that question of why are we here and how did we become here, and these are questions that seem like it's hard to answer, but if you spend a little time in the woods, out in the bush, by yourself or maybe with somebody, you know, that's your buddy or your wife or whatever, and spend some time in there and kind of sit and dig it all in, then you intrinsically know why you're here. Because you're here, you're alive, you're living and breathing, and the experience is what we want, not the re-experience.
But
and
the
the
problem
re-experience
is
is our
that
thinking machine. It's the experience that's so important to us. And
Right.
the only way we can experience God or eternity and all these things that we treasure so much is by being still, quieting the mind, and being in nature. Those are the three things you have to have. If you don't have those things, you're changing things, and we don't have that
You're
because
becoming domesticated.
There you go.
And you're on the hamster wheel.
You're on the
and you're
hamster.
going and going, and you're not really thinking, why do I exist?
That's right.
Why
And
am
the
I here?
reason we're on this hamster wheel is to put money in other people's pockets who are trying to sell us things. That's my whole point of this whole thing. It's not bad intrinsically, but it leads to this. It leads to people being greedy. It leads to people wanting more and more. And the more you have, the more you want, because it takes more energy and everything to protect those things that we have. In our ancient world, we didn't have anything, but we had everything.
Ah, I love that. Here, listen to this. Thanks, Sayer G. He's such a great writer, Green Med Info. Given the sheer insanity of our existential condition and our bodily incarnation as a whole, and considering that our earthly existence is partially formed from sunlight and requires the continual consumption of condensed light in the form of food, it may not sound so far-fetched that our bodies are light. We emit light.
Amen.
Stick with us, guys. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back to the show. So what we're really talking about in this show is the type of electromagnetic pollution that is so intrinsic in our society today,
Exactly.
in where we work, in our schools. More and more kids are using computers. The schools are using computers, doing away with a lot of the traditions that schools used to have. Handwriting, pretty much out of the window. So, we're doing more and more things on these tablets, and I think someday we're going to find a way how to use these tablets, and that doesn't give us these electromagnetic shocks to us each day.
I mean, it's bad enough you and I use this here in the studio or iPads, but, what I've done now is I've learned how to remediate this where you can connect directly to an Ethernet connection, and there are these little adapters you can do, but God forbid if your children are in a school where your teachers are having them do their studies on an iPad, get in there right away, Google how to connect an iPad to Ethernet, and demand that these schools hardwire any computers that are being used by your children. Absolute must.
Now, this article we're reading from is called Living with EHS, a Survival Guide. So there's really two types of electromagnetic frequencies that they talk about. One is the ELF, which are frequencies of electromagnetic fields, and the second one is the RF, which are the radio frequency radiation. Still the same type of thing. They're a little bit different.
No, they're different, but the thing is, like I said, you have to actually really connect with them. And then, of course, there's the third, which is the geopathic stress. Mm-hmm. The Earth itself puts out magnetic fields, and some of these at certain spots can be compromising to the human body. So we're going to learn a lot more about that in future shows.
And, of course, we talked about the electric blanket being wrapped around you. You mentioned on a previous show people who have tattoos all over their body. That's a conduit for electricity.
Those are made of heavy metals, and the metals are going to conduct the electricity, particularly as we get towards 5G, and we're looking at a smaller millimeter wavelength.
People are also using socks that are electrified. They're also using mittens that are electrified. They have all kinds of different clothing now that have batteries in them and things like that. So there's a lot of insults that can add up, and if you're a person that's going to be sensitive to this, by maybe showing it as being obese, or maybe showing it as getting a cold or the flu off.
Well, it's beyond that, folks. I'm going to say to you, it says without mitigation of these things, people with environmental sensitivities may become severely debilitated and ill. And we're going to go, when we cover a little bit of this, we're going to get down into what are some of the things, symptoms that are associated with electrohypersensitivity syndrome. This is truly an issue that's not going away, and I think many of us have been looking for the elephant, and the elephant's right in the room. It's not just in the room, it's around your house, it's in your neighborhood, it's in your car. As you talk on the phone, in this trapped, would you stick your head in a microwave oven? No, but you're sitting there in your car making all your phone calls on your iPad with all the cellular towers pinging,
So this electrohypersensitivity is in Sweden classified as a disability, and health care facilities with low levels of exposure to electromagnetic fields and radiation are available to people.
Well, the hospital's probably the most dangerous place you can go.
Sure, but in Sweden they
not
have
only the germs,
Yeah.
but because of all the electronic equipment. That's what Jack says. That's why he had to get out of the operating room.
Yeah, now the Canadian Human Rights Commission report also acknowledges environmental sensitivity attributed to the electromagnetic exposure. Researchers estimate that approximately 3% of the population has severe symptoms of this. Another 35% of the population has moderate symptoms of this.
Yeah, let's just so you guys know, Nico and I are sharing information that comes from a group in Canada called the WEEP Initiative, and that is the Wireless Electric and Electromagnetic Pollution Group. That's a sad name, but probably very appropriate. So in addition to numerous other health problems, electromagnetic pollution has been associated with an increase in the number of individuals suffering from this condition. So what are some of these things? Symptoms of EHS. The biological effects from EMF, EMR include both adverse health effects and loss of homeostasis and well-being. Doesn't this really hit us right on the nail of what's happening in our population today?
Sure.
I just saw, not to digress, but before I lose this, did you guys know we're #1 in a health stat? We are #1 for infant mortality in the first day of life.
Well,
What are our babies experiencing the first day of life? They're exposed to these highly toxic
first of all,
EMF hospitals.
They're in a hospital, yeah.
They're vaccinated, okay? How can we be the most technologically advanced nation
We are. That's
with
why.
the health care, and we lose more babies in their first day of life than anyone else? Folks, this is not right. There's not something right. So getting back to these symptoms of EHS.
There's a whole chart here. And,
Yeah, let's read some of these, guys.
Well, the first one is headaches, and we may have a headache, and we contribute to a lot of different things. Maybe not this.
Yeah, look at it. But
definitely.
let's just go over the categories.
Okay.
It's neurological symptoms, folks.
Right.
It's cardiac symptoms, respiratory symptoms, dermatological, ophthalmologic, and other. Really, when you look at this list, it incorporates the whole entire health and wellness paradigm. How much of our health and wellness challenges are related to this artificial environment, this dome of electricity that we are swimming in?
Yeah, and probably each one of these might have a pill next to it.
Exactly. There's a capitalistic solution to the pollution. I mean, it's
I
crazy.
think you're right.
So, guys, take a look at this list. I want to make sure we throw this in the newsletter.
Of course.
It's a real thinking, thought-provoking. So what do you do?
That's
what do
right.
you do if you're suffering with electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome? Yeah, you guys like my sniglets, right, Matt? I know, it's fun. That's how I remember things. So what do you do to live with it? Well, you're going to start wanting to work with electromagnetic professionals that are going to come in and help you remediate your environment. It's true that you're swimming in a soup of EMF, so you might say, what's the point? My office building, I can turn off my cell and my router, but 550 other people are. But what we do know from the experts in health, including doctors, world-renowned doctors like Dietrich Klinghardt, is that if you will remediate your sleeping quarters and turn your sleeping quarters into a sanctuary, I mean a complete sanctuary, amazing healing can happen. The body is amazing because the body is electrical,
so
magnetic.
this is a great project for people to do, and this is the place to start.
Contact me if you want some further connections. I may be going to Austria. You guys know I go to Austria once a year anyways, and so I'm trying to coordinate a family and a business trip. But I'm going to be working with people like a friend of mine, Nicholas Pinot, who he did a website, a Facebook Live yesterday. He's written a new book, The Tinfoil Guide to EMFs. Google that book on Amazon. He's going to be having some training. This is where the future is going.
You see Z in the chat room says here, environmental scientist and entrepreneur Jason Bowden Smith joins me from Sydney, Australia, to discuss his new book, In the Dark, New Ways to Avoid Harmful Effects of Living in a Technology-Connected World. Jason provides an excellent PowerPoint to help us follow the technical aspects. We will post the videos from this one on Thursday.
Okay, so in Z, he's in my EMFs group. So yes, we follow him, we talk with him. If you want some connections on how to get in some of these groups that are exposing this, just email me at paige@tfnn.com. We'll be right back.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental. So I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit tfnn.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back. So let's talk about a few of the things that we can do to get rid of some of this, here it says EMF mitigation and avoidance. First and foremost, get rid of your wireless paraphernalia, as they say. That's almost like impossible.
All wireless technology emits RF. Yes, you can live without it. In fact, you can't live with it and withdraw from these conveniences and pleasures. It's necessary to avoid, this continual damage. What I will tell you is a simple thing that you can do is switch your phone and wireless devices to airplane mode. They should never be live against your body, and it really concerns me. We women may, by default, have a little protection because we carelessly fling them in our purse, and our purse creates a few inches from our body. But I see you men putting it right in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm seeing men put it in their little shirt pockets.
Right above the heart, yeah.
What, exactly, the electrical heart.
One of the things, if you do it on airplane mode, just about every couple of hours, you can put it back
Flip
and
it
check
over?
it and do it again. Another thing he says here is cordless phones. Use corded phones instead.
Yeah, go back to a hardwired, guys. Hardwired, those old cordless phones put out an awful signal.
A speakerphone will reduce your exposure even more. Wireless internet and Bluetooth systems, he says hardwire it, or she actually, I think.
And you can Google instructions on how to do that with your particular device.
Yeah. Wireless baby monitors. Use corded plug-ins one.
Very detrimental. You do not want your child in a Wi-Fi suit.
Sure. They're talking about the replacing fluorescent lights and bulbs. LED is the big thing. Don't use LED inside. I think you can use it outside, but don't use it inside.
Well, we can look at some charts too. LED lights do not have a frequency range that mimics the sun. And the old incandescent bulbs are the best. Is there a caller? Okay. Hi, Larry from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Aluminum foil on house studs. Hey there.
How's it going?
Hey, how you guys doing? I know you just have a second. I just heard this news. I happen to have. I've gutted my townhome, and I put in mineral wool. I hardwired Ethernet and new cable. And my question is, I don't know anything. I've never heard about this. You're saying sheets of standard aluminum foil before I put drywall on will cut EMF from neighbors? Is that what you're saying?
Well, did we say that today?
No,
we
you
didn't.
didn't say that, but somebody said put aluminum foil on studs.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I can't confirm that or deny it, but what I will tell you is I would love for you to send an email to Brian Hoyer at Shielded Healing. Shielded Healing, Google him.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay.
And to let him know that you heard about him from Paige and Nico. He is a geobiologist. He can talk to you. He can even do an assessment. He's on a trip out your way anyways, I think. Really great. He's going to probably be on Dr. Mercola's show soon.
And we're just kind of learning about this too, so, you know, in future shows we're going to be talking about exactly what to do. We're digging
I know
up
about
information.
aluminum foil on the other side of your smart meter, but the first step would be to call your power company and see if you can get your smart meter out of your house. I'm in the process of just telling them I want an analog. You know, it's all about going kind of back, getting more primal and doing the things we used to do.
No, I understand.
But Larry, I think that's great that you're exploring this. Go to Facebook and join the EMF Warrior group. Just put it in there and maybe send them a note, EMF Warriors. It's a private Facebook group. You'll get accepted. And you can start asking these questions, and some very knowledgeable people will pipe in and help you. And kudos to you for making these changes.
Well, I just happen to be rehabbing the place. Now would be the time to put up aluminum if that helps. So I'll find out. I'll in a month or two I'll get back and let you know if it's effective.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of people. I will tell you, you know, like Nico has a metal roof. That's a good choice. We actually had Brian Hoyer at our home, and he showed us that this is helping us. You know, aluminum or metal siding. It's good. So
okay, great.
Thanks for calling,
Thanks a lot,
Larry.
Matt.
Hey, that's our show.
I guess it is, yes. Thanks
We'll
for sticking around,
continue the
folks.
conversation, guys. Thanks for all your input,
Yep.
and have a safe, healthy rest of your week.
Go out there and keep learning.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. sequence. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.